Welcome to Suzette's Guilty Pleasures, a chance for you to be a part of the craziness in my head. I'm your host, Suzette. On today's episode, we will be speaking to young entrepreneur Latesha. Follow Latesha at The Santana's Travels and New Home Redesign. Let's go. Latesha, how are you doing this evening?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so happy to have you on here, especially being a very young entrepreneur. I know that you're doing a lot of things, so I'm excited to talk to you about those things.
I'm
So,
excited as well.
so tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm 27. As you mentioned, I am an entrepreneur. So I do have my own business and I also do work full time. I work multiple jobs and I also do like jobs on the side through like this website called Fiverr. It's like I do many things on the side. And recently also started flipping furniture on the side as well, and then reselling that. And then I have a course out on financial money management. I have a lot of stuff going on. So I'm kind of just everywhere right now.
Okay, so pretty much you're telling us you're a jack of all trades.
Pretty much a jack of all trades. I try to be.
Okay. So let's first start. You talked about you have a course out on financing, but before we talk about your course, um, what kind of financing stuff are you involved in? Like, what do you do?
So are you talking about like my job?
No, not in regards to your job, just like financing your own personal stuff. Like, are you investing? Are you saving? Like those type of things.
Oh, okay. Yeah, of course. So I am investing. I've been investing, I think, since about 2015 or 2016. So I do stocks mainly. I just started getting into crypto. So I'm kind of new to the crypto field. Like I think less than 6 months I've been in crypto, but I've been in stocks way longer. I of course save. I have all my savings automated. I have multiple like sinking funds. So like I have like an emergency fund, a vacation fund, a car fund. So I definitely save as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
So what made you start to get, so you said you started in 2015.
Yes.
You're now 27. How old were you then? Sorry, I'm not good with math. So how old were you?
21.
So 21. And
Yeah.
usually we know 21-year-olds, they're all about, I want to spend my money.
Yeah.
They're probably just getting their first credit card coming into university.
Yeah.
All of their spending habits are usually not there. What made you decide to get into investing at such a young age?
So don't get me wrong. I was spending my money recklessly too. I was young. I was partying. I was everywhere. I was spending my money recklessly too. But what made me want to get into investing, because I always had my cousin in my ear about like, oh my gosh, getting stocks. Oh my gosh, getting stocks. I'm like, okay, whatever. But for me, from my head, I didn't know any knowledge. I was like, okay, I need to have a lump sum of money. When am I ever going to get a lump sum? You know what? Tax time. So I was expecting a nice return for one of my taxes in 2015. And I was like, you know what? This is what I'm going to start. I'm just going to put the money and I'm going to start doing stocks. And then it turns out instead of getting that money back, I had to owe. And I was just like, okay, well, when am I going to get this lump sum? So I'm just like, you know what? I'm not going to get this lump sum for a while. I don't want to put it off. Like I want to start investing now. I just don't want to put it off. So I started, I think, with only like $300. And that's how I actually got started in the market. Just instead of having like over $1,000 to start, I just started off with what I could have for my paycheck. At 21, I think I was still working at McDonald's at this time too. So it was just still like a minimum wage paycheck, but I just $300 was all I had at that time. So I just threw the $300 in and then I started investing. I had my cousin to help me out in the beginning because like I knew nothing about stocks, but I was not gonna let that stop me. And then now, 2021, like years later, even a couple of years ago, I stopped my cousin from doing it, and now I just do it solely on my own.
Okay. All right. That's good. So how can you talk a bit about your experience? Like how has this, since you've been doing stock market, like what has your experience been from then till now? Like what have you seen differently? And have you learned anything?
I would say it's been rocky because like before I got into the stock market, I was in mutual funds. So like I was in the stock market, but I wasn't choosing my stocks. It was like groups of stocks, like if you know how mutual funds works. And then when I switched to investing, it's just like, okay, well, like stock, like me choosing my stocks, I was like, okay, well, now I actually have to do research. Like I need to figure out what the good companies are. I need to figure out this and to figure out that. So at the beginning, I was kind of just, I heard about a stock. I'm like, oh, I hear about it. Okay, I'm going to buy it. I heard about it. Okay, I'm going to buy it. I never looked at charts. I didn't really care about the price if it was high. Like I didn't know any of that stuff. And then I started to take courses on the stock market because like I was seeing myself lose money. So like honestly, I got into like the weed trade. I made money off of that. So like I've gotten to really good stocks, and I've also gotten to really bad stocks. And you learn the most from the bad stocks than you do from the good stocks. So obviously, like less when you get burned, you get burned, and you remember losing money.
Right.
So I started to take courses on it because I'm like, okay, I need to get better at this. Like I need, because I originally started stocks to diversify my portfolio, but I'm like, if I keep losing money on this, what's the benefit? What's the point? So I started to take, like, as I said, I started to take courses to learn more, to actually understand the market more in a different way. I'm not much of a YouTube learner. I think there's just too much information. It's just too much. I'm just like, I can't. So I just got a course and I just dealt with it. And then now before I buy a stock, I look to see what the price it is now, like the 52-week high, the 52-week low, and I always wait for a pullback. I always wait till the stock is in a pullback before I buy the stock. I never buy right away, and I never buy right when I hear it. So I learned that, I think, last year, 2020. And even in 2021, I still made that mistake of buying when I was told, and I lost hundreds of dollars on it.
Mm.
So it's still a learning progress. I'm still learning. I feel like you always learn when it comes to stocks. Like you learn your plays and whatever. Like, because I even swing trade now too, but I'm still learning in 20, even after I learned it, to not buy as soon as as soon as you hear about the stock, do not buy. Always hold off, wait for a pullback, because every stock always has a pullback.
Okay, so you just said like a whole bunch of different
I
lingos.
know.
I was
Sorry.
like, what is this? So when you're swinging from what? You're swinging from one end to the, like, I don't understand any of that stuff. But I know that you mentioned that you have you started a financial course. So in that financial course, do you sort of talk about pretty much what you just said about stocks, how to start, what to look for, and all those big lingos that you were using? Is that part of your
Yeah.
course?
So mainly my course, I do touch on stocks, but I touch on stocks at like all investing at the very end. So like I talk about TFSAs, RSPs, RESPs, what other investing stuff? I talked a bit about crypto, talked about stocks, mutual funds. So like I talked a bit about investing. I didn't go into too much terminology, because when you hear too much terminology at once, you start to get confused and like, okay, whatever, it's too much to learn, you throw it away. Like it's kind of information overload. So like I didn't go into depth about like stocks, but I
Right.
kind of like touched the surface. So like how do you open up a brokerage, and how do you start to put money in, and how do you find your stocks and buy your stocks? Like I kind of just touch on like the basics,
Mhm.
because obviously I work in the banking field. A lot of people kind of get confused, or like if you give too much information, they're just like, okay, whoa, like I'm confused. So that's why I talked about it in the end. So mainly at the beginning, like for the most part of my course is like a 2-hour course. So basically most of the course is talking about money management. So like how to manage your money, like having multiple accounts, having the savings, how to save, automating your savings. So mainly the whole thing is about money management, how to manage your money, side hustles that you can do either for free if you have money, or if you have like stuff that you're not using. So for the most part, it's just about money management, but I do touch on investing and diversifying your investments.
Okay, so what made you or what prompted you to create a money management or a financial course?
So working in the banking field, honestly, that is what showed me how, I don't even know like the right word, but like financial management and like financial literacy, that's the word, is not common. Financial literacy is not common at all, no matter what age you are. Like I had like 40, 50-year-olds that didn't know like exactly what a TFSA was. And I had like even the young ones that don't know what a TFSA is and don't know the difference, that you can have a TFSA as a mutual fund, you can have a TFSA as a savings account, you have a TFSA in a stock account. Like there's so many different ways to have a TFSA. You can have TFSAs at different banks. Like I feel like there was just a lot of people don't know about the basics. They don't know about like the options that are available to them. And some people don't even truly know how an RSP works. Like they just know that, okay, well, I need to save for my retirement, so I'm just going to put mine in an RSP.
Right.
And there's probably an RSP savings account where they're getting like no growth on the funds. And it's like, okay, we'll go put it in a mutual fund. Or how about you invest your money for your retirement yourself, kind of thing, get the most growth. So honestly, I've been seeing it for years. I've been hearing it, and I'm just like, you know what? Let me help people out. My course is a low price, $25, because I know a lot of people can't afford expensive courses. So it's a 2-hour course, a lot of information, but I'm just like, honestly, I feel like this needs to be out there because I touch on so much stuff. I even touched about my OSAP paying it off in 6 months. And that's what a lot of people want to know, like, yo, how did you do that? Blah, blah, blah. So I figured out to put it all in a course, throw it out there, at least like the knowledge is out there, and to help others.
So you actually touched base on something that I wanted to talk about, because I know that that's one of your biggest accomplishments, which is what you just mentioned, paying off your OSAP in 6 months. Now, I don't want you to go into too much detail because I don't want you to give too much information away because, as you stated, you talk a lot about it inside your course. But like, can you give us a few examples, or just, as I said, really basic? How were you able to accomplish that? Like, as I said, once again, you're a young girl, and I know lots of people that are like, older and still trying to pay off this low OSAP loan and things like that. What made you, I guess, say, nah, I'm not doing it. This is what it is. And what was your goal? What was your focus, I guess?
So it's so crazy because even now when I think about it, I'm just like, how did I do that? Because like even to me, like thinking now is crazy because I know I did it, but I'm like, how? Like how did I do that? But so I kind of wanted it was a goal for me for 2021. I wanted to pay off a large debt. It was either gonna be my car or my OSAP or my credit cards, whatever. But honestly, OSAP was the easiest to pay. You can add as a bill payment and pay it that way. So it was just the easiest. And any money I had, when I tell you any extra money that wasn't going towards a bill, I put towards. So like when I say bill, I mean like my nails for me is a bill. So like I was still doing my nails and stuff. Like my nails are a bill, my hair is a bill, like certain stuff like that. But like I budgeted for it. So every single piece of extra money I got was going my tax refund straight. I didn't even look at it. I didn't even think about it. I'm not even like, okay, I'm getting this extra. Put it straight to my loan. My bonus from work, put it straight to my loan. Like everything went straight to my loan. I didn't touch it. I didn't even think about it. It went straight to my loan. But I will say one of the biggest things to do if you want to pay off an extra bill is automate a bill payment. Because I think that's what truly helped me to pay it off. Like, yeah, I put all the extra money on, and like I did a lot to make extra money on the side. Like I did Fiverr, I was flipping furniture even before then. Like I was doing a lot. I was working multiple jobs, like 2, 3 jobs. Like I was doing a lot to pay it off in the 6 months because like I was gonna pay it off in the 6 months. But one of the main things that I think helped it was when I automated the bill payment for it. So like I said, you can add national student loans as a bill payment. And then I set up automatic bill payments. So every single 2 weeks when I got paid, I had a certain amount of money that wouldn't like put a pinch in my pockets. I had a certain amount of money pay onto that loan every single month, every single paycheck, sorry. And then I was top of that, I was still actually paying my pre-authorized debit payment with them so that I knew, you know what, guaranteed, no matter what, there's going to be this amount of money coming off of my student loan principal, not interest, principal
Right.
every month. So that also helped me calculate, okay, well, I have 6 months I need to pay it off. This amount of money, how much do I have left over that I need to pay? So that kind of put in perspective. And like also what helped is that like if it's like let's say so 22, let's say if it's like 19,431, I was like, you know what, I'll make that an even number. So how am I going to get $431 to make it like an even 19,000? And then
Right.
that would push me. Then when it's at 19,000 and on it's going to make it uneven again, we make the payment. You're like, okay, well, I need to make this an even number. How am I going to come up with the money to make this an even number? So that kind of helped as well. But honestly, dedication, you got to be obsessed with it. You honestly have to be obsessed with it because like I harassed everyone that I knew that knew I was doing it. I was just like, oh my gosh, I have this much left, I need to pay it off. Oh my gosh, I have this much left. Oh my gosh, I have this much left. Like it was all I talked about for those 6 months. It was all I talked about. I talked about nothing else. Like you have to be obsessed with your debt payoff, man. If you're not obsessed, you're gonna slip and you're gonna slide. You have to be obsessed with it.
I like that. And I think that actually makes a lot of sense because when you become obsessed, it's like, I don't know if I'd say it's like an addiction, but with that obsession, it's like I need to get rid of this, like whatever it is that you're becoming
Oh,
obsessed with because it's becoming too much, right?
mhm.
So I like that. I like you have to be obsessed with it. Now,
Yeah.
I know that some people who might be watching or even listening, they may be older. Would you say that some of the tips that you talk about in your course is the same kind of things that an older person could be also utilizing to, if they have like whether it's an OSAP loan or other debts, is there a way that they can still use some of those tips to pay off those debts too, that they may want to pay off faster?
Yeah. So I currently live at home. I don't pay rent, but like I pay like house bills, but I don't pay like actual rent. So obviously I have more, I would say, disposable income, that's the word. I have more disposable income than, let's say, someone that has a mortgage, or someone that pays rent or whatever, and it takes up most of their paycheck. So the tips that I have, obviously you're going to, I guess, tweak it so that it fits your personal situation, because I can only like give tips for myself and what I did and what I know.
Right.
But yeah, honestly, I give tips for every situation. It's just about tweaking it, because I don't essentially always give out numbers,
Right.
because like $100 might be nothing for someone, but $100 might be a whole lot for someone else.
True.
But like, even as I said in my course, there was times that I was completely broke. I was only saving like $25. There's times when I had more money and I was saving 150. So like, honestly, it fluctuates. Do whatever is comfortable for you. But yeah, I give tips for every situation, because I know everyone's situation is not the same. And
Right.
then even when you get the course, there's also like a budgeting sheet and a debt payoff sheet where you find out like the interest and stuff like that to also help you pay off your debt. But the tips that I give, it goes for honestly any debt. All debt is essentially the same except for like a loan or a line of credit or credit card. The difference between revolving and like is fixed. But pretty much debt is essentially all the same, and the payout method is essentially the same.
Okay. All right. All right. Good. That's good to know. So, listeners and viewers, as you heard, she has her course out that can help you with the financial management. She has a lot of tips and tricks in there that you can use to help manage your own finance situation. And it doesn't necessarily have to be, you don't have to look at it and say, oh, well, she's a young girl. She doesn't have a lot of bills. As she stated, she has done it. And then she has done it. She's giving you the tips, and you can tweak it according to your financial situation and lifestyle. So you mentioned earlier that you're also an entrepreneur. So what are some of the things, I guess, well, when did you become an entrepreneur? What made you decide to become an entrepreneur? Because you said that you also work full-time. So how did entrepreneurship come into play?
I'm trying to get out of the 9 to 5 game, man.
Y'all are.
Trying to get out of the 9 to 5 game. And honestly, I started during the pandemic. I started it in like my website was up and like fully functional in July 2020, like in the midst of the pandemic. And people was like, well, why would you start like a travel business during a pandemic? Man, people were still traveling like nothing during the pandemic. It might not have been as much people as before, but these people were still traveling. Like, and I'm just like, okay, well, if I put it off, like I feel like the pandemic wasn't going to end anytime soon. Like we're still in it now. So I'm just like, man, if I put it off, when will I start? Like, if not now, when? Like literally when? So I'm just like, you know what? This is my step. I need to get out of 9 to 5 game. I need to start working for people. I don't like having to ask permission to go on vacation. I don't like having to ask permission to like just take time off or like go like I hate it. I hate it. So I'm just like, you know what? We're starting a business is the way to go. If I knew the stress that would come with it, I will probably would have questioned it. But man, it's been rewarding though. Every time I get an order, it just makes me that. But like, I feel like it's my first order every single time I get an order. I'm just like, yeah, I got an order. But yeah, so I started a travel business where I sell travel accessories and travel clothing. And the reason why I chose travel is because I'm passionate about travel. Like before the pandemic, I think I was traveling to like 9 countries a year, or going like 9 countries, 10 trips a year, like that kind of thing. And like it was stuff that I was using that I knew for some reason I thought was so common and like everyone knew about. And it turns out like no one knew about this stuff, like packing cubes. Like I thought that like, okay, everyone's using packing cubes now, but like there's still so many people that are not using packing cubes. And so many people don't use or bring portable door locks on their trips. They put like chairs and furniture behind doors and stuff. But I'm just like, no, like there's stuff for this. So I feel like a lot of people don't know about this stuff. So that's why I started the business, because it's just like instead of having to search through like reviews and like all these Amazon stuff or like other websites or go through aisles and Dollarama or whatever, like I go through the products for you to make sure I'm getting the best product, to make sure that like it's the best thing. You don't have to go through everything. Like it's just one thing of each. It's not stressful to be like, oh my gosh, I don't know which one to buy, blah blah blah. So just to make it easier for everyone, so that everyone knows what they need on the trip. Like I even put like the type of traveler this each thing is perfect for, to like even make it easier for just like, well, is
Wow.
this right for me? Like, do I need this? So I
Right.
even did like the traveler type as well. It's like people know. But yeah, that's why I started becoming an entrepreneur, to get out of the life, and I'm passionate about travel. So it's just like, why not? I even do itineraries on my website. I offer itineraries as well.
So when you say itineraries, what do you mean? What do you mean you offer itineraries?
So like I will plan an itinerary, like I won't book it, but I will plan an itinerary for you. So like I will give you, well, depending on what you buy, there's multiple options. If you do if you do excursions only, I'll give you a bunch of excursions that you want. You tell me the dates, you tell me the location and stuff like that. I find flights for you, I find multiple options, I find hotels or Airbnbs for you, multiple options. I find you excursions. I don't remember if I offer meals, if I find like perfect restaurants, but it honestly it's catered to
Mm.
whatever the person wants. So like I plan itineraries for you, I give you all the links, I give you all the information. All you got to do is actually just book it.
Okay. All right. And with your sorry, what's the name of it?
Santana Travels.
So with Santana Travels, which is the name of your website, it is so I guess now that everyone's being vaccinated, because that's pretty much I think what was holding people back from traveling.
Yeah.
So I guess more people are traveling. So are you getting a little bit more sales now that people are actually more traveling than they were like back in 20 when you first started?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely picked up a lot more. I feel like marketing for it is hard though, except for like Facebook ads. Because of course you would what I mainly use like groups for it, and a whole bunch of travel groups you can't promote yourself and you can't post and whatever. So like where my target audience is, like I can't promote in there. But no, I think it's definitely been word of mouth, and I also have like ads going anyways. So I'm definitely getting a whole lot more orders now than I was before.
Oh, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good. Now, I know that you had mentioned that you don't like the 9 to 5, which is why you started your entrepreneurship and stuff like that. But I mean, as I know, as an older person, we work until we retiring at 65. So with you, so you saying you're not, you hate this, like what is your goal? Obviously, you're saying no, 65 is not your age. So like, do you have a goal of when you are trying to retire while you're also starting this entrepreneurship life?
I'm 27. I'm burnt out. I'm not making it to 65, guaranteed. I'm not making it to 65. I'm done. I've been working 2 or more jobs since like 2015. It's been like 6 years. I'm tired of working these multiple jobs. I'm burnt out. I'm no longer working for someone. I'm retiring at 30. 30 is my goal to retire. I do not plan to work for someone else past 30. I might be working for myself. I might be doing I don't know what I'm going to be doing, but I'm not working for someone else past 30. So to get myself set up for that, I am, of course, doing the investing in stocks. I'm trying to focus on dividend stocks.
Okay.
That way I have that income coming in. I try to stagger my stocks so that I get paid out monthly.
Okay.
Yeah, so I get paid out monthly every 12 months, every 12 months. Yeah.
Okay.
No, every month. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to set it up so I get paid out every month for the year. So I'm trying to set that up. And then I'm also, I was involved in real estate from like a couple years ago. But I'm trying to find real estate in the US and also in Canada. So I'm just finding a whole bunch of passive income that will just set me up for when I retire, because I'm retiring at 30.
Okay, so that's 3 more years. So is there anything else that you're doing to come up with other ways of income? So I know that, a lot of people have been talking, especially during the pandemic, you need a lot of different hustles. You need a lot of streams of income. So like, what streams of income do you have, if you have, other than your Santana's travel and your full-time?
So I have my Santana travel. That's a lot. I have my Santana travels. I have multiple corporate, like working for other people.
Okay.
So I have about 3 working for other people. One Santana Travels, my entrepreneur. I have my course. I do Fiverr. I build Shopify websites on the side. I flip on the side.
So
So I guess
what is it that you flip? Sorry, what do you
I
flip?
flip furniture. I
Okay.
flip furniture. So I talk about this in the course as well.
Okay.
So in the course, I give ways to make money on the side that
Okay.
costs no money to start.
Okay.
You just got to find the time and just start it.
Right.
So this is one of the options that I gave as well. But I flip furniture, yeah.
Okay.
Help furniture find some new homes. So that's what it's called, new home redesign.
Okay. I like that. New home design. Nice.
Yeah, but right now I think I have about 8 streams of income.
Okay.
But honestly, I'm trying to add a lot. There's a whole, honestly, it's a whole bunch I'm looking at. I'm looking at buying a storage unit. I'm looking at tire storage. I'm looking at Amazon fulfillment by Amazon, and I'm looking at real estate investing. And then after all that, then I'm gonna buy a car to rent on Turo. So I'm gonna have like 5 passive incomes.
So with all those things that are happening, first of all the things you're looking at, what's your goal to start? That's the first question. And the second question is, you say that your goal is to retire when you turn 30. So how are you looking so far at 27 to reaching that goal?
I would say I'm about 30% there.
Okay.
30% there. I'm right now I'm trying to pay off my car.
Mhm.
So once I'm trying to get rid of like all my debt. That way I can put like all of my money towards like all these other streams of income. Cause you know the motto, as if you know Chris Johnson, get money by income. So I honestly a lot of these passive income tips and tricks I learned from him.
So who's,
But I
oh,
think
sorry,
that right now,
sorry, just for people who may not know, like the listeners and viewers, who is Chris Johnson that you've learned tips and tricks from?
so honestly, how I found him was an ad on Shade Room. He kept being posted on there, and it's just like, oh, I got paid today. I got paid like $15,000, and this is what I did with it. I put this in the stock market. I did this with it, and I did this with it. And I was just like, okay, well, this is the kind of stuff that I'm on. Like, I'm on the same type of time, so let me follow him. I followed him. I ended up getting his course. He's the reason why I also started my business. To be honest, if it wasn't for him, I would have started my business. He's the reason I started my business, and he's the reason that I started looking at charts for stocks. I learned so much from this guy, and I follow him now. So like he is the reason why I even thought of like buying a car to rent on Turo. Like he was the reason I thought about half this even passive income, like dividend income. Like he's the reason why I thought of like everything. So honestly, he paved the way for me. I won't even lie. I learned so much from him. I talk about him like he's my friend. Like I know him and I don't. I'd be like, oh yeah, Chris said this. Oh yeah, Chris said that. He even helped me about crypto, like to know what crypto to buy, get into the crypto market. Like he honestly he did a lot for me. He may not know me, but he did a lot for me.
So you would say that was like your financial guru.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
All right. All right.
definitely.
So after everything that you've talked about, which is really informative, and you're given a lot of information, I think that the good part about it is that, I mean, listeners and viewers, with her course, you can learn a lot. Your youth, if you have young, adults, youth, or anybody, you can even get them started, because I know that we're all trying to teach our children financial literacy, trying to start this whole generational wealth. And as you said, in your course, you talk about like sort of the basics. You don't go in depth because it does get confusing. So I mean, as I said, like even some of the lingos you were using, I was like, okay, that just went over my head and I got tuned out for a little bit. But at least they know how to start, which is awesome. And then especially with the different kind of streams of income you said that people can start doing even if you don't have a lot of money. So that's really good. Are there any kinds of I don't know if I want to say tips, but like any tips or last few words that you would say that you can give our viewers or our listeners?
Just start. And don't put off to today. Don't put off tomorrow. You can do today. Those are the two mottos that I live by. And honestly, just start, because like it could be Wednesday. Like, I want to wait till Sunday. Like speaking of the week, no, do it today on Wednesday. Do it tomorrow on Thursday. Like, don't push it. Just start, because then Sunday might call me up, something come up, and it's like, okay, well, I gotta push it. Well, I want it to be the beginning of the week, and then you push it again, and you push it again. So don't just start today. Don't put off to tomorrow. You got to do today. And also get insurance. Get life insurance, guys. I
Oh,
talk about that in my course too, but get life insurance, guys.
okay. Yeah, the GoFundMe thing isn't working, right?
I
Everyone, as soon as somebody dies, it's a GoFundMe.
Yeah, and it's like they just get life insurance, guys.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to follow Latesha on Instagram at the Santana Travels, and also at New Home Redesign on Instagram. So those are her two main, one of her two main businesses that she runs, right? And don't forget to follow me on Instagram and on YouTube at Suzette's Guilty Pleasures, where you can leave your questions and comments. And while you are there, do not forget to subscribe, like, and share. But until next time, please take care, be blessed, and stay safe.